What's up, guys? Been a while. Let's talk quickly about this market and where I think that things are going, because we just saw a pump in Bitcoin. Everybody got fully excited. We now see a little retrace, and I noticed that the sentiment is now completely changing, meaning that the people that are in crypto, man, we are so glued to the short-term charts. And in this video, I really want to help zoom out, look at the big picture, because there is so much more to come than most people are probably expecting. So let's get right into that. So, welcome to the Fomo Factory. My timing was a little off, I think. Doesn't matter. I haven't been doing this for a long time, okay? So, what happened to Bitcoin and how it's looking right now? Well, Bitcoin broke out. It touched 110-ish K, and it now came back down a little bit. Overall, if I look at it like this, then the structure looks pretty bullish to me at the moment, but that could change by the time that this video is over already. But we have our high, we have a lower high, we have a lower high, and we made lower lows, right? Falling wedge, usually, eventually a bullish pattern. We broke out, and now it looks like we might be retesting it. I don't want to say it too soon though, because on the weekly, it so far is just a wick, right? So it could not mean anything. On the daily, I do think that it's important, if we want to maintain this breakout, that we close above 108 and a half, kind of where we are right now, right? So therefore, it's pretty much a coin toss at this moment. Overall, I do think that in the long run, we should not be too glued to all of this. If we look at it like this, Bitcoin is sitting at all-time highs. It looks fantastic. If we look at the monthly chart, we made a monthly closing high in May. We did that in June, and we are so far in July above that as well, as long as we are above 107. So slow but steady, but at least on the way up, right? It's better than very fast on the way down, of course. So Bitcoin is looking actually pretty good right here. Now, why? How come? Well, it's mostly because of the liquidity. Probably you'll have heard a lot of people talking about the global liquidity. And that's just a really good indicator, actually, because it's getting a little hypey, this indicator. And I know that a lot of people feel like, I don't know how accurate this indicator is. Well, so far, it is pretty damn accurate, actually. If you look at it at the 12-week offset, you can see that the global liquidity is still going up and pointing at $114 trillion in September. So if Bitcoin keeps on doing what it has been doing for like eternity, basically, and just following the M2, you see that the M2 just got out of a dip. Bitcoin got out of a dip. M2 was going up. Bitcoin started to go up. That should suggest around 160K Bitcoin in a couple months. Is that really... It sounds crazy, right? It sounds like, whoa, Bitcoin 160K can never happen, right? Yeah, of course, Bitcoin is the prime example of it can never happen, and then it happens plus more. But if that happens, right, 160K Bitcoin would mean a 40%, let's say 50, pump in a couple months. 50% pump in a couple months, right? Is that so weird to think? Well, it's the post-halving year, right? 2021, 2017, 2013. Bitcoin does not pump like that much, right? It always does. But also what you'll see is that Bitcoin is doing really the same over and over in this cycle, where it ranges, it goes down a little bit more, but then it goes up to where it finds the next range. But that pump, 80%, right? This pump, 86%. This pump right here, 123%. And even this one, which was not even the breakout pump, I think that we are still in the middle of it, actually. But so far was 52%, right? So 160K would actually be the smallest pump so far. Now, it won't be like that forever. At a certain point, we will get a bear market, of course. But it's July, post-halving year. Seasonality-wise, it makes zero sense. ETFs, institutions, they're still buying. OTC exchanges are running out hard. So there, at a certain point, will be such a fucking supply shock. Insane. Again, the M2 is going up. Bitcoin has proven that it follows the M2 like perfectly. Retail is not even here, right? So there's not like that retail is getting tired of buying. Like retail tired of buying, retail is buying, retail isn't even here, right? Let alone if they also come. QT hasn't ended yet. There are no rate cuts. Like, there are so many things suggesting that the whole crypto market is suppressed as hell. That 160K, it should not even be the target. It should be the next target, right? So far, that's the way how I'm looking at it. Like, yeah, can it go down lower in the meantime? Sure, but eventually, if the next pump comes over a matter of a couple weeks, months, then 160K, give or take, should be the target for that next pump. And what the eventual bull market top is going to be, it's really hard to say, right? Depends also on when it is going to top out. And if it does follow the business cycle, then yeah, it could be that it tops out a little later than usual and that we are for the first time now in a right translated cycle. Could be also the reason why we haven't seen an alt season yet, right? And if you look at this chart, altcoins on the Bitcoin pair, again, for the people that look at this chart and be like, it's only going down. Yes, exactly. Therefore, I'm so excited because that's what happened so far every single time, right? In the last bull market, bear market, cycle, whatever as well. If you look at what altcoins on the Bitcoin pair did, they went down, started to, get into somewhat of an accumulation phase, and then get that last swipe. And that last swipe out, wipe out, swipe the lows, whatever, sweep. That's where people said, oh, you'll see, all the bears were right. It's over. No, that was the beginning, actually, right? This was an alt season. But yeah, if you expect it here all the time and here, then you're going to get disappointed, right? And I see now people do the same thing. Expect it over here and also here, right? Yeah, so far it's not the case yet. Personally, I expected it to happen here. I said for a long time, end of 2024, beginning 2025. Why? Because of seasonality. And to be honest, in this cycle, I learned again as well. And what I learned mostly is that there's more than just the crypto seasonality and that we should look more at the macro seasonality. Now, that's not a bearish outcome, actually. Because the macro, again, is showing like, whoa, global M2 is going parabolic. Crypto follows global M2. Okay, there's that, right? And also, again, Powell is getting the pressure of cutting rates, and although he's not doing that yet, and I don't expect it to happen this month, next month, there is no FOMC. So probably next best thing, September. But that outlook is getting better and better and better, in my opinion, because at a certain point it's going to happen, right? But the fact that we have been going down so far, again, that looks like this, and it looks like this. The only difference is altcoins did not go down that hard this cycle, right? And in in this cycle, 2013 until 2017, they got destroyed, right? Completely destroyed, demolished, gone, vanished, like it was nothing left. 2021, like the 2017 till 2021, they got wrecked. Like not demolished, destroyed, but wrecked, right? But it took a little longer. So it was more of a slow bleed. This cycle, it's even more like that. They didn't get wrecked. Like they went down. Yes, some got wrecked, sure. But if you look at the overall market, it's not as bad as the last cycles. If you look at alts on the Bitcoin pair, they are now down 62% compared to the last cycle, where they were down 88%. And the cycle before that, oh, whoa. The last cycle was worse, actually. But the cycle before with 84%, right? Again, it's nothing yet, but it's more of a time capitulation that we're going through right now. And a lot of people give up, not because the numbers are down that much, but it's more like it's taking so long and every day it's down a little bit more. And then we get a little green, right? One step forward, two steps back. And that frustrates people a lot, then I can definitely understand that. But if you feel like, hey man, but it is coming and I'm not in a rush, then it doesn't really matter. Of course, you'd rather be rich today than tomorrow, but hey, that's what the market is giving us. So when it comes to alts, yeah, again, it's a patience game. It's a patience game. And for now, there are a lot of people saying, it won't happen. And, you know, at a certain point, it probably will. And you don't want to be sidelined when that happens, right? So better to, you know, take your temporary loss right now, fuck it, and then ride it out. You will probably be fine, right? People who sold here, yeah, or here, right? They were not the last ones laughing, right? And I don't think that this time is going to be any different again. If you look at the stablecoin deployment into the crypto market, which is pretty interesting if you ask me, this chart going up, bears in control, chart going down, bulls in control, right? Now, what you'll notice is that the USDT and USDC dominance is basically ranging, right? Here, really good for crypto, for alts, and here again as well. Here, really bad, right? So you basically just want to buy crypto here and sell crypto here. This is on a weekly chart. This goes back to March 2024. Right? So, and you can see as well that if you overlay the altcoin market, that whenever we get here, the altcoin market, that's the huge run up. This was leg number 1, right? And here again, that was leg number 2. Now we are here in the middle. And when we go down, I feel like, hey, leg number 3, right? And of course that lag is coming. It's not that, oh, from today, crypto is down only. Like, no, in the middle of it, it feels like it's up. But if anything, alts are still in a bull market. It might not feel like that if you look at your portfolio, but they are. If we zoom in on this, then you can see that I'm a bit sick, sorry. I'm not sorry for being sick, by the way, fuck off. But if you look at this, then you can see that it came out, it's now in some kind of a flag pattern, pull coming from the upside, bearish pattern, right? It tried to break out, went up really hard, but it showed like, whoa, down again. So there was some bad news, right, about the war. Bears were like, oh, let me sell. And by the time we got some good news, no, good, like slightly better, they were like, okay, let's deploy again. Right? Therefore, this chart shows like, wow, one piece of bad news, and the few people in crypto, they right away are selling, right? There are no holders. There are no holders. But you also notice when the news is not even that bad, I'm not even saying good, but when it's just not that bad, people deploy into alts and crypto and Bitcoin as soon as they can. So what do you think is going to happen as soon as we actually get good news? Wars really ending, rate cuts, QT, let alone if we get them all combined, hypothetically. That would blast this, like, then you can honestly say, like, okay, 10x from here is FUD, really, right? Because you'll notice how easy people start to deploy when the news doesn't seem to be too bad. That's it. That's everything that we need to pump crypto. News that doesn't suck really hard, right? Yeah, in that case, feel like, okay, clear. We should hold, right? Also, Bitcoin, ETH, and stable dominance. If you look at this chart, this is ranging, right? So the Bitcoin, ETH, and stable dominance went up, aka people took their money out of alts and put it into Bitcoin, ETH, or stables, went up, started to range, one spike above it. Well, overall, that was it, right? Top of the range. And then alt season. People deployed everything into altcoins. And now what happened? Kind of the same thing again, right? People took the money from alts, put it into Bitcoin, ETH, stables, ranging. Yeah, we were ranging longer than here, but it should not be a copy. Right? But other than that, it looks pretty similar, right? We are now at the top of the range. Okay, range lows means that altcoin holders are going to be very rich. That's very simple, the utility or the meaning of this chart. Now, if you are bearish on alts, you can say to yourself like, yeah, we're gonna get a spike like that again. But even in that case, I feel like, wow, the fact that we are at range lows, but you are maybe bearish on alts, tells you like, hey, we're gonna get a fake out. Are you gonna bet your money on a fake out? I know range highs are for, usually shorting, right? And in this case, it means getting in alts. And the range lows are for longing or buying or, dumping your alts in this case. This chart tells it all, right? Tells it all. And if we go sideways for a few months, whatever, it could be. But overall, it's clear what the bet is to take, right? It's pretty clear. Yeah, if we look at some on-chain things also, if you look at the social metrics, right? I want to spoiler something because I've been looking at this for quite a while. And you should keep up with this channel because soon-ish, you are going to be so blessed. We're working on something. I'm not going to tell you exactly what. But one part of it is that these social metrics are not really 100% accurate. They are accurate enough, but but overall, it's sitting at lows, right? There's no retail here. So who's gonna sell then, right? A lot of potential people to buy. Right? All I know that's these are the levels where you want to buy, right? Here, broop up, here, up. But what's funny to me though is why I said this is that if you, for example, this chart is made out of people following layer ones on Twitter. Are layer ones the social metric indicator, right? Plus, if you look at which layer ones, we look at Harmony 1. People nowadays don't even know what it is. Right? Terra Luna is still there. Polkadot, but it's Polkadot. So, yeah, of course, based on these layer ones, yeah, there's no retail, definitely. So let's get some real ones in there. All I'm saying. But yeah, no, overall, there is no retail. Now, where I do think that the market could go, it's quite funny. I think that what we said, 160K Bitcoin-ish by September, it's now July, so August, September, 2 months maybe, is reasonable. It's not really a prediction. It's just looking at the chart and saying like, hey, if it keeps on doing what it did so far, that's not weird, right? So if it keeps on doing what it did so far, 160K by September-ish. What happened with the altcoin market whenever Bitcoin had that big pump? So the last big pump that we had, right, from 50K to 100K, give or take, was this. Right? Yeah, there the altcoin market went from 340 billion to 920 billion. It did insane, right? The big pump before that, you could say from here or here, it doesn't really matter. You do see that altcoins go with Bitcoin, right? They go with Bitcoin. If you take it from here, 25K to 75K, Bitcoin did a 3x, right? The altcoin market went from 170 billion to 580 billion. Right now, that lag seems to be coming again to me. And therefore, I feel like, okay, makes a lot of sense to be really bullish on the market. Now, don't get into the, crappy stuff. It's not a risk-on environment yet. But that environment will definitely come at a certain point as people have more money. And it's not, in my opinion, like, well, all these coins, they don't do anything, they're dead, it's like Bitcoin only. That's just the stage of the market that we were in the last cycle and that we are in right now. There's no demand for altcoins at the moment, right? Definitely not. Therefore, you want to buy them right now. When else do you want to do that? When there is a lot of demand, that's cool. But when there's a lot of demand, there are also higher prices. And therefore, you want to buy them before that happens. Right? So if you feel like, no, I don't want to do that, then okay. But then you're basically saying like, hey, there won't be demand for altcoins. And it could be that the people that think that are right this time. But history shows that that's not what you want to do. Again, I don't know who said it. The four most dangerous words in crypto are, or in investing, by the way, is this time is different. And it's always a little different. It's taking a little longer right now. That's kind of the only thing that I think is different this time, right? But overall, apart from these smaller things like, oh, it's been moved a little bit to the left, to the right, or it pumped 80% instead of 50%, whatever the overall direction, it's so far not different. Once again, right? Once again, when you look at Bitcoin pumping from the bear market lows until now, yeah, that it's taking a little longer and less growth or whatever. Hey, but what a coincidence, right? Beginning 2019, we started to go up. Oh, beginning 2023, 4 years later, we started. What a coincidence. Like, it's not a coincidence. Of course not, right? And again, if you look at the altcoin market on its Bitcoin pair, aka alt season, again, this last move down, it makes people feel like this time is different, but it shows to me like, hey, that was actually the last move to make it like a copy. Like not even the same. Again, it's more stretched. But the moves that happen, the sentiment that it brings, the literal tweets that people put out, like also there too many, like it's all the same, dude. It's all the same. Yeah, and that makes me so bullish on crypto and the altcoin market in that case. Because I feel like, wow, okay, if it's so far the same, we know what the next move is in that case. So I'm pretty curious to see how that's going to play out. Other than that, I think it's now a matter of holding on and being patient. And that's it. And if you are worrying, sweating, getting impatient, then it means that you are either probably in a rush. And if you're in a rush, then it also means that you maybe have a little too much money in than was good for you. Yeah, you know, if you would ask me like, oh, should I then now take it out at a loss? Like if it's not urgent, I feel like, man, capitulating at the lows is probably the most unwise thing that you can do. But it depends. I cannot see how your financial situation looks. But do note that probably for the next cycle, right? Like, hey, don't invest more than you can lose, right? That's what they say, and they don't say it for no reason. It's like because the market, it doesn't do what you want, right? It doesn't, it's not like I invest now and it should go up tomorrow. Yeah, you wish, right? I wish, everybody wishes that, but it doesn't work like that. But I think that the last thing that you want to do at this moment is being in the market wherever you stepped in, right? Whether you stepped in here somewhere or here, right? But write it all out. Going to the bear market, going to the accumulation phase, going to that sweep, and here say like, okay, let's sell. Like honestly, again, if you look at the last market, people who set it all out and sold here, dude, like what, like that's undescribable. I think how bad these people felt, and believe me, they sold here because they said this time was different. Just like a lot of people are saying right now. And they feel smart. Do you think people here felt smart? I don't think so. They felt like complete crap, like the worst decision they made in their life. And I don't know what kind of decisions they made, but this is probably the worst. Yeah, be careful underestimating it. Like, oh yeah, but you know, I can just, you know, get back in on the bounce. By the time people realized that this was more than just, you know, a dead cat bounce and an actual reversal, it was already too late. There was no time. No one is going to guarantee you that we're going to have time right here. Before you know, maybe in 2 months, altcoins are sitting 10x higher than what they are today. And it sounds like unreal. I know, but therefore it's the altcoin market. You came here because they can, right? Before you know, it's like that. And you'll be like, oh, whoa, what happened? And then you have to wait and hope that the next cycle is going to offer you a similar chance and that you don't mess it up by then, right? So little motivational speech from my side for today. So that's it. I want to leave it right here. Thanks for watching. Do like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell notification on. See you in the next one.